Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dominic Peterson, aka Doug's on 503, talking all things Oregon football. If you're not following, if you're not subscribed already, go and smash those buttons below to join the Doug Zone family where we're always talking Oregon football. At Doug Zone 503, guys, on Instagram and Twitter, the social medias at Doug Zone 503. Got to be following those for the quickest updates directly from me. Really appreciate you guys for hitting the like and subscribe button. Thank you for that. All right, guys, let's get into it. We got the UCLA at Oregon recap and analysis show today. Going to go over Oregon's big win at home where they get the job done over number 9 UCLA, 45-30. Big win for the Ducks there. I was at the game. Big atmosphere. As you know, there was big time guests here. And man, in our preview and prediction show that we have every Thursday, we like to give our final score around here just to throw it out there, and no real skill to it, just kind of our best guess of what we think is going to happen in the game. And we came real close in this prediction, actually, guys. We had 45-32 Oregon in this one, while most pundits had UCLA winning. Most national media pundits I seen on Saturday morning were coming out just saying the Bruins were going to win this game. I was actually really surprised because the way of Oregon's been playing, the historic matchup with the Bruins. Oregon, before this game, won 9 in the last 10 years. Now they've won 10 in the last 11. Okay. I know the last two matchups previous to this one have been kind of close, but the way Oregon's offense was rolling, I know UCLA offense was rolling too, but the way UCLA hasn't really played anybody with a pulse away from home. Now they come to Autzen, where it's going to be absolutely electric, where the Ducks have won 22 straight or 23 straight. I think now I think it's at 24 straight after this win. The Ducks have been just so impressive. I just didn't see UCLA coming in here and winning, and I thought just being at home and the way the offense has been rolling and being so consistent coming off a bye week as well, I had a nice comfortable win, 45-32. Well, came pretty close. Ducks ended up getting the job done 45-30. So, man, that was awesome. Also, guys, if you haven't checked out the vlog, okay, the vlog, I attended the game. As you know, I have vlogged every game I go to, from tailgate action all the way to the end of the game. I'm there, I'm vlogging, I'm recording. So go check that out. Really appreciate you guys. If you guys go check that out and hit the like button on that. After the game, man, really appreciate these guys right here. So after the game, as you know, Duck fans could go up on the field, and some players were hanging out. Got my opportunity in to take some pictures with these guys, okay? So got to shout out my guys, Ty Thompson for the picture, TJ Bass, Bennett Williams, Terrence Ferguson, Dave Iuli, big recruit there. Josh Connolly, man, 5-star recruit on the O-line, playing big time this year, all ready for the Duck. Got a recruit here in the 2023 class, commit Cody DeCamber. He's a safety out there in Bishop Gorman. He was on an unofficial visit, already committed to the Ducks, so he'll be here next year. Cam McCormick is another big one, man. Y'all know his story. He had a touchdown this game. Preston Alford, this guy's a guy I've had on my channel before. Walk on here on the Ducks, man. Real nice guy coming from Texas to Oregon. And then we got Sir Mel's. Last but not least, Sir Mel's, crowd favorite here, freshman favorite there, man. So shout out those guys for letting me get a picture with them. And man, what a great game. Let's talk about it, right? We had a huge anticipation coming into this game. We had ESPN College Game Day on site where Lee Corso picks the Ducks at the end of the show. Awesome pick by Lee Corso. Probably the last time, guys, that we'll see, honestly, Lee Corso pick the Ducks and be on the game day show in Autzen. Lee Corso's getting up there, most likely his last year. So real nice to see, real heartwarming moment to see him pick the Ducks, and the Ducks get a win on ESPN College Game Day. I think that makes the Ducks 3-0 now against the Bruins at home again on College Game Day. Josh Pate, can't forget Josh Pate. Every given Saturday tour, he does his Late Kick podcast, National College Football Podcast. Really recommend you guys check him out. Really great voice, really great opinions on the college football landscape. And man, Pate was really impressed, guys. Us fans really showed out. The environment was absolutely electric. It was his first time here at Oregon, in the state of Oregon, in Autzen Stadium. So really gave a nice first impression. He will be back, he said on his show. And yeah, if you guys want to hear his thoughts on Oregon, like I said, go recommend the Late Kick podcast with Josh Pate. So as we know, it was also a primetime kickoff. Okay, 12:30. If you guys watch the show, I voice my opinions. I hate the 12:30 kickoff personally, having to come from Portland, but for the Oregon Ducks and nationally, trying to get eyes on your program, that is a really great kickoff time for a marquee matchup. You have the whole country with eyes on you. It's 3:30 prime time to watch football. 3:30 on a Saturday afternoon on the East Coast. 12:30 here on the West Coast. So, man, prime time to watch football, right? Enter the first quarter of this game. Okay, it was pretty close. Not much action. It was tied 3-3 to end the first quarter, but that second quarter is where Oregon just dominated this game and really put the Bruins away. Oregon scores 28 points in the second quarter to UCLA's 10. The Ducks are up 31-13 at the half, and by the end of the third quarter, the game was pretty much wrapped up. Oregon was up 38-16. And in the final quarter, the Bruins outscored the Ducks 14-7 to make it 45-30. So realistically, guys, this game was a lot bigger than the 15-point deficit that was the final turnout. Or the Ducks just really impressively put it on them. Dan Lanning, okay, versus Chip Kelly. That was another thing to watch. Who's going to be the better coach in this matchup? Okay, Chip Kelly's been around for a while, guys. And Dan Lanning, man, he looked more aggressive. He had that onside kick called. Okay, he was coming in with a game plan. That wasn't just random. He came in with that game plan and executed it well, man. So shout out to Dan Lanning and co to really outclass Chip Kelly, out coaching Chip Kelly there, and this veteran UCLA team. Bo Nix can't talk again. Another game where Bo Nix is just absolutely impressive, having his dream year here at Oregon. That the Oregon offensive line, has a lot to do with that. This guy better be buying these guys dinner after every week, because this offensive line for Oregon has only allowed 1 sack all year in 7 games played. I mean, Bo Nix, you compare that to what he was going through at Auburn, where, man, it felt like he was running for his life almost every play. Half the game, it felt like he was scrambling and throwing picks and just running around. And now you see what happens when you have an O-line that can block for you and, keep you with a nice nice open pocket for you as a quarterback. You got a nice offensive coordinator that puts you in a position to have easy reads, then you have the recruiting that Mario and Cristobal and co left behind with weapons like Troy Franklin. You got to also mention this coaching staff on bringing in weapons with Chase Cota, Bucky Irving. I mean, these guys are big weapons for Bo Nix to have around him with the offensive line paired with the Dillingham offense. Man, it's just all coming together. Nix was named the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week. So big kudos to Bo Nix for making the Offensive Player of the Week. On top of that, Oregon jumps to number 8 in the AP poll, so 10-8. So they're getting there. They're getting in the thick of things. The college football playoff talk. Not there yet. Still early to start getting that conversation, but man, things are getting exciting. All right, let's talk about the stat recap. Okay, so coming into this, we all knew this was going to be a battle of the quarterbacks, right? Bo Nix versus DTR. Both quarterbacks looked real good so far this season. Which one was going to play the better game? Well, our guy, Bo Nix, Oregon Ducks quarterback, had the better game. Okay, Nix threw 22, 28, 283 yards, 5 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, compared to Dorian Thompson-Robinson's 27 of 39 passing, 262 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So Nix definitely gains the upper edge there in the head-to-head battle. The Ducks held UCLA to under 200 yards rushing, which was one of our keys, and we'll recap our keys of the game here in a second. But yeah, UCLA held only 186 yards rushing all game. Charbonnet, one of the best running backs, if not the best running back in the Pac-12. A lot of people consider him the best running back in the Pac-12. Only held the 20 carries, 151 yards, 1 touchdown. Isn't a bad game at all. I mean, 20 carries, 151 yards, 1 touchdown. That's actually a pretty good game. But matters none in the final score, right? When Oregon hopped on him in that second quarter early in the game, Chip Kelly really tried to get that pass offense going, kind of went away from that run game a little bit. But that run game was working at times for UCLA. But for the most part, the Ducks really contained that attack. There were times where, you'd see the D line really get close to getting a sack on DTR. And then you just see him kind of slip away for like another 8-10 yards, get the first down, right? Charbonnet would have a couple big runs throughout the game too. He finished with about 7.6 yards per carry, which you definitely want to see the Ducks sure up that stat better. Don't want to see a guy getting about 7-8 yards a carry at all. Luckily for the Ducks, didn't really hold them back at all with that. Very impressed with this Oregon defense holding the UCLA to only 16 points to 3/4. I mean, we're talking about a UCLA team that put up 42 on Utah. Another 40 plus points on Washington. So these guys were scoring. These guys were really moving the ball on defenses, and the Oregon defense really put the claws down on UCLA. But the offense, no doubt, the offense for the Ducks have just been the story of the year so far. Most thought that the defensive side of the ball would be the strong suit for Oregon coming in before the season started. I mean, you had Dan Lanning, just coming off a national championship as a defensive coordinator at Georgia. Tosh Lepore, Tosh Lupoi, who did his thing at Alabama, right? Coming here at Oregon, you really expected big things on the defensive side, but man, Dillingham is really doing big things. Okay, the offensive coordinator for Oregon, Kenny Dillingham, coming from Florida State. Florida State the year before didn't really do a lot offensively. Dillingham wasn't there for a long time, didn't really get to get his guys, his recruits. So we didn't really see a lot from a Dillingham offense from the previous years before he got to Oregon. But man, oh man, Dilly has been just awesome for Oregon. This young guy, young coach, will be a head coach one day. I expect it. I don't know if it's going to be a year from now, 2 years, 3, but I do expect Kenny Dillingham to get a head coaching job one day. There are a lot of vacancies out there at the moment. And man, this guy is just making Bo Nix really just look like a legitimate Heisman contender. And we'll talk about that. I did ask you guys that question on Twitter. Do you guys think that Bo Nix is a Heisman contender? And man, Dilly's got him looking like one. The Oregon offense has now scored 40 plus points in 6 straight games. That's the first time an Oregon team has done that since 2014. And that's when Oregon was competing for national championships, right? So Dilly is getting it done. Kenny Dillingham, offensive coordinator for Oregon, man. Big pickup for Oregon there. Now, okay. So I asked you guys, I asked you guys a question on Twitter just recently that if I was to ask you this 5 months ago, all of you would have laughed in my face. Guaranteed, okay? But I asked you guys, do you think that Bo Nix deserves to be in the Heisman conversation? Okay. I asked you guys on Twitter. There were a lot of mixed emotions, opinions, reactions, etc. Right? So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys my take. Absolutely, I do. Okay, absolutely, I think Bo Nix deserves to be in the Heisman conversation. Now, did I say he deserves to win it? No. I said, does he deserve to be in the conversation? Some of you casual fans that watched week 1 and haven't watched Oregon since, seen a lot of you guys in the comments say, absolutely not. No, this is laughable, right? It's like, okay. But since that Georgia game, I mean, Nix has put up over 1,600 yards, 17 touchdowns compared to 1 interceptions, 345 rushing yards on the ground, and 8 rushing touchdowns. One of the best rushing quarterbacks statistically in college football, and statistically performing really is one of the best quarterbacks in the Pac-12 conference. So, I mean, he just won offensive conference player of the week this last week. So, man, Nix is really, really doing his thing since that Georgia game. On top of that, completing 71% of his passes. There's a graphic out there I'll throw up. This is Mariota, okay? One of his best seasons at Oregon. Marcus Mariota, considered one of the best quarterbacks at Oregon, right? And then there's Bo Nix right there. Just take a look at that, guys, through 7 games. Now, granted, Mariota has slightly better numbers here, but still, wow. You just can't You just can't make up stuff like that, man. That is amazing, and that definitely deserves to be in the Heisman conversation. Bo Nix has his team undefeated in conference play, top 8 team in the nation, just sitting right outside the college football playoff conversation, right? So absolutely, Bo Nix deserves to be talked about when it comes in the Heisman conversation right now. Now, when I say keywords right now, he's going to have to keep playing at this level to stay in the conversation, right? So, man, big talking point, big thing, big thing to watch with Bo Nix. The guy's playing as a Heisman level, in my opinion. He's going to have to keep it up, okay? Now, let's go ahead and get into this, okay? On our Thursday episodes where we do our preview and predictions for the games, we go ahead and give our 3 keys of the game. So, in the recap and analysis videos, we go ahead and recap the 3 keys of the game. So let's get into it, recapping the 3 keys to the game against UCLA. So number 1, I had get off the field on 3rd down. As you know, Oregon is really bad on getting teams off the field on 3rd down, and it's becoming a kind of an issue. Maybe it might be a linebacker issue here at Oregon. It seems for me, but we're not going to talk about it too much on what the problem is. Just Oregon did not pass this key. But it did not affect the outcome of the game, luckily. Okay, UCLA was 6 of 12 on 3rd down. That's 50%, simply not good enough. And luckily for Oregon, it didn't cost them though. Okay, Oregon, when UCLA just can't stop Oregon, when Oregon had the ball, that's just what happens. Okay, that stat just is irrelevant. Okay, number 2, win the turnover battle. Okay, Oregon passed this as well, not by flying colors or anything, but they did win it. Okay, UCLA had 1 turnover, Oregon had no turnovers, so clean game by Oregon. Really impressive stat there. And then last but not least, I had don't allow UCLA to rush over 200 yards. We covered this earlier. That was passed, and this was a big one here. UCLA only rushed for 186 yards. So UCLA came in averaging around 237 rushing yards a game, so held UCLA under their rushing average on the season in this game. Good job by the Ducks defense there. That's always key when going against a Chip Kelly offense, right? All right, so final thoughts on the game and moving forward. Oregon is really improving every week, and you really love to see that, especially in this college football, in college football league. Professional is one thing, but in college football, you love to see teams just steadily improving and staying consistent. It's a really hard thing to do when these young college football players, man, you got school and all that. Hard to keep your mind on the game. These guys are really doing it, taking care of business at home. Really, really impressive win. Not sure if I expected that dominant of a performance, but I did expect the Ducks to really take care of business at home, and that's what happened. I catch myself saying that a lot with this Oregon team is like, didn't really expect that dominant of a performance, because, man, coming from Mario Cristobal when things were like, we'd win by like 7 or 10, there's always close games. And in Oregon, it's just awesome to see them just put the gas on the pedal and just, man, really stomp these teams out. It's awesome. I was expecting a shootout type game with the Bruins, but, Oregon just, like I said, showed up and stomped them out. Oregon is now the only undefeated team in conference play. So now all the pressure's on them to lose now. Every team's going to be looking at them to lose. And this is just a reminder, no team has gone 9-0 in Pac-12 play, okay? So when the conference changed to 9 conference games, no team yet has ever gone 9-0 in Pac-12 play. So just keep that in mind, guys. That's why I kind of advocate to go into 8 conference games. I think that's only fair. Statistically, if you don't have a team going 9-0, I think you got to switch back to 8. Next 2 weeks, though, you go on the road, okay, but you're going to play some lower ranked opponents. You go against Cal here coming up next. And then after that, you're going to go to, up to Boulder and play the Colorado Buffaloes, where Buffaloes look really, really, just really bad. Not trying to, put any disrespect to the Buffaloes, but they have not looked good. Cal, Oregon should handle business there. Then, okay, after that, though, you get into the stretch run of the season where you go against Washington and Utah at home, and then you go to Oregon State. Okay, those are really quality opponents. So it's about to get wild, guys. Buckle up. We're getting to the thick of things. It's getting cold. Let's go, guys. Can't wait. Oregon plays Cal next week. I'll have my preview and prediction video coming out Thursday. I'm going to be in Vegas this weekend. So for Halloween weekend, I'm going to be partying out there. Any Duck fans out there in Vegas, please hit me up, man. I'm trying to find a nice place to watch the game or a nice bar. Give me some recommendations. Let me know. Preview and prediction video for Cal, Oregon coming out Thursday. Guys, if you like content like this, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And again, shout out to the social media at DougZone503. Got to be following the pages on Instagram and Twitter to get the quickest updates from me. And they're coming out like lightning. So really appreciate you guys once again for tuning in. And as always, go Ducks. And man, can't wait for Thursday. I'll see you guys Thursday in the next one. Appreciate you guys. Go Ducks.